In this episode, we were bombarded by two ARGs last weekend from MaiMai Deluxe and Vivid Stasis, finally recapping the Konami Arcade Championships 2023, saluting to Chronos Circle as it approaches end of service, and more on the event cycle. I'm Michiko, and this is the Running Game Roundup. Welcome to the Running Game Roundup, where we round up the latest news and updates from your favorite running games. It feels like every time we wait for a certain running game to release its major update, another game follows right after it. And another one. And another one. And another one. Anyway, without further ado, let's deep dive into our main story of two running game ARGs, starting off with MaiMai Deluxe. It all started from the first announcement of a dedicated Sasakure UK Chiho back in November 25th, with unlockable songs such as Tondemo Wonders, Ping Peak, Solvevox Remix, and Hello Planet, to be released on December 9th. As the date comes closer, on November 30th, a mysterious account with the Twitter handle @ProjectRaputa released a video of a Sasakure UK and TJ.hangneil collab, with the Sasakuration and Sega copyright attached to it. It must be related to the collab Chiho. And since then, the Sasakure Twitter account started to upload these creepy analog vertical videos of a specific entity on the moon, posting on a specific time of December 3rd and 9th, 3:39 AM Japan time, and a very clear version of the video on the 9th, 3:39 PM, announcing TJ.hangneil has appeared and is interfering with this world. People soon knew this was not a normal collab update when players began finishing the Sasakure UK Chiho, and a secret Chiho was unlocked, featuring TJ.hangneil songs of Ozma and the perfect challenge song of Kamui. This was not the end, but the beginning of what's to come. The starting point for this entire ARG was the announcement video from the Project Raputa account. The arrows positioned above each letter of the collaboration announcement corresponds to the letter's position in a keyboard, pointing towards the number row. The result is these two strings of numbers, and when multiplied gives this long number string. After inputting this to maimaiDX.jp's serial code menu, and after completing a game session, you'll be rewarded with a travel stamp icon. The Project Raputa account congratulated this player for retrieving this travel stamp and notifying that a travel ticket was also needed. Our next clue was hidden in this plain white nameplate of Sasakure UK, with space dots under the artist name. This was instantly recognized as Braille, and it spelled out 39339, alluding to the posting time and date of the weird TJ.hangneil videos posted on Sasakure UK's Twitter account. With a confirmation retweet from the Project Raputa account, this clue was deciphered to achieving 339 combo on the song 39, or Miku or Sankyu. This gives players the space travel ticket nameplate, and when both items are retrieved and equipped on the player profile, the Surface of the Moon Chiho gets unlocked, featuring the song Moonbase and several titles, including One Small Step for Man, One Giant Leap for Mankind, and 5 titles containing 5 randomly placed letters. Following the retrieval order of the 5 random titles, putting them into the 5x5 grid from the space travel ticket nameplate, and reading it in a specific zigzag way, pieces the sentence, break the moon base with beam. This sentence threw the player base in a bit of a loop until the Project Raputa account began retweeting speculation tweets of hitting break notes and indicating that beam was actually an acronym of Basic, Expert, Advanced, and Master. Playing all 4 charts of Moonbase in that specific difficulty order and only hitting break notes gives the player the moon symbol icon from another TJ.hangneil song that has appeared in Ongeki, Apollo. The Under the Surface of the Moon Chiho gets unlocked, and the Project Raputa account retweets Final Area Unlock. Show me you're perfect, show me you're perfect. The Chiho features Apollo and the Sasakure UK x TJ.hangneil self-collab song Raputa. Both are perfect challenges, which is a first for MaiMai. And at this point, the ARG officially finished with the Project Raputa account retweeting the player Takirun's all-perfect clear of the song. MaiMai's Twitter account officially reveals the ARG song lineup on December 11th with a slightly different version of Raputa's background animation compared to the official Sasakure UK upload. Though, be careful though, because Raputa is as unsettling, heck, even more unsettling than Apollo and World Ender. This entire ARG event was such a blast, not only for me who only follows the progress on Twitter, but certainly to the tens or hundreds of people attempting this challenge of high magnitude. We hadn't seen an unlockment sequence as complicated as this ever since the Pandora box songs from MaiMai finale. So to see the amount of engagement and enthusiasm for this ARG centering around the ever mysterious TJ.hangneil feels like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. It'll be interesting to see when this update releases internationally, if us non-Japanese players can go through the same process, or the ARG gets a slight modification to make it slightly unique than what we've seen here in MaiMai Deluxe in Japan. The last thing we want is for the entire Sasakura Yuki and TJ.hangneil collaboration songs to be available with no fanfare other than the perfect challenges. That's the last thing we want. And while we're at it, let's get to the even more complicated ARG, that is the Vivid Stasis ASTELLION ARG, with it being the last song from the final landing countdown event towards the game's Chapter 0 update. This is actually the first Vivid Stasis ARG I fully participated in since the Chapter 2 update, so I was a little bit rusty. It also didn't help that Cheryl, the lead developer of the game and friend of the Chrono Cap, deployed numerous unique ciphers and decryption methods in this ARG. As a quick recap, in the build-up towards Vivid Stasis' Chapter 0 update, a song gets released every week from November 11th until the recently passed December 9th, featuring songs such as The Last Page, Candy at Cracker, Orphan, and an ASTELLION. Before accessing these 5 songs, you need to buy every single song in the shop, and even after doing so, each song has its own 3 sets of requirements you need to accomplish to even attempt to unlock them. This ARG focuses on ASTELLION as it is related to Chapter 0. The ARG starts with a tweet from the Hajimeli Twitter account about the Sunrise Foundation Twitch channel. The livestream features a monitor with a countdown from 8 hours in seconds. When the countdown hits 0, the screen starts to flicker colors and a text of Chroma Test appeared. Afterwards, 11 sets of numbers and black and white squares appeared, all in a loop until the puzzle was solved. The black and white squares represent binary digits, and the number above each box represents how many of those binary numbers appear in a row. After converting from binary to ASCII, 11 strings of characters are formed, where it was inserted as a YouTube video link. The link shows a video titled DBS Contact, showing 12 images and a link to download these 12 images as PNGs in a zip file. People then start noticing letters and numbers throughout these images, and stringing them all together gives this string of characters. Locking that into a shrine report.xyz link, and we get a very tiny image of 3 keys. We're finally on track on cracking the 3 unlock requirements. It's worth noting that the Sunrise Foundation Twitch stream now shows incorrect sample length exception during this phase of the ARG, as it is not involved at the moment. After noticing this conspicuously small picture has a huge file size of 2.94 megabytes, we obviously tried renaming the file extension to .zip or .7zip, whichever your preferred file extractor tool and format is. And lo and behold, this tiny 19 by 12 pixel image has 3 files inside it: an AST_1_WK.VSD file, an SP file with no extension, and an _.txt file. The text file's contents are a drive directory template to Vivid Stasis' own game folder, and the text, "Everything becomes clear, my eyes open to eternity, the 4th project benefiting those he couldn't, the downfall, the dust fragmented Quaternion." Knowing we have a .vsd file, putting the AST_1 file in the Vivid Stasis save folder fulfills the first unlock requirement for ASTELLION. Our second key lies in the SP file with no extension, but opening it as an archive actually shows it's locked with a password. After some digging in other files with no luck, people began digging through the AST_1_WK.VSD file open in Notepad. Mostly are text jargon other than the 3 letters of OGG. Changing the .vsd extension to .ogg outputs a buzzing noise audio with weirdly positioned silences. Analyzing the duration of the noises and separating them based on the 1-second silences gives us 22, 9, 19, 1, 7, and 5. Put that through an A1Z26 cipher and we get our password of Visage. Entering it on the SP file's lock password menu reveals a file called p2.txt. The new text file contains these 2 lines of text. This stumped the entire ARG hunt team so much, we're getting desperate on finding methods to crack this line of text. Oh, and forgot to mention, the DBS Contact video description also has similar lines of text as the one found in p2.txt. That was until a familiar puzzle method was reused in the situation, specifically the XOR or exclusive OR gate. I'm not necessarily well versed in Boolean logic gates since I'm a social sciences student, but long story short, the lines of text from p2.text and from the DBS contact video were stitched respectively into two very long strings, and after XORing them together, gives out this string as a result. Converted from hex into ASCII, and we get this string of 34 characters. We tried putting this into a shrine report link, but it didn't work. The ARG team struggled to find other ways to find use of this text string until it was realized that its 34 characters fit the limit of YouTube playlist links. This leads us to a YouTube playlist filled with 19 songs. Stringing the first letter of each song's titles gives us kishobiori@gmail.com. This is a real email address, and when we send a random message to it, we receive our second VSD file. Though as a note, after the ARG was concluded, both the YouTube playlist and email address were vanished and now unresponsive. Inserting this ast_to_lb.vsd file in the game's save folder checks our second unlock requirement for Astellion. For our third key, the previously retrieved .vsd file was inspected in numerous different file formats, only for it to contain information when changed to an .mp4 file. In this video, numerous colorful rectangle and triangle images appear with dark lines in the middle. Meanwhile, the Soundrise Foundation Twitch stream was kicked back in action, showcasing similar looking yet different images of the same shapes and colors, but with differently positioning dark lines within them. The team quickly noticed it's only a matter of overlaying these images from the two sources above each other and arranging them in a rainbow order. This gives us the text string porta.html. Insert that link into Shrine Report, and we're confronted with an image containing 3-digit numbers on 2 columns and a submit column on the bottom. It was quickly identified to be degree numbers, and the 2-column nature points to a familiar coding method, the flag semaphore. From this, the word envision was string and submitted in the column box. The site redirects us to n.png with a wall of random characters and line of numbers below it. These numbers correspond to the position from this block of characters, giving us between zip. Entering it into a Shrine Report URL gives us another familiar message obfuscation method. 4 images in different colors titled beyond the end 1, 2, 3, and 4, with a black bar and spots of color inside them. Of course, you overlay all 4 images with the black bars overlapping each other, giving us the worlds.wave. We're almost there. We got to type in our penultimate Shrine Report link, the worlds.wave file gets downloaded, and the audio file holds an SSTV signal, and when decrypted, gives us the tr1t5.zip with a peculiar image that'll soon make sense. Inserting that zip title into a Shrine Report link, finally for the last time, gives us a zip file containing ast_3_ptg.vsd. Inserting that to the game's save folder finally unlocks the true unlock requirements for Astellion. And that, folks, is the end of the Astellion ARG, where I spent almost an entire night of sleepless brain processing, and now the game is prompting us to play this last final landing song, feeling very tired and weak on my fingers to properly play the chart. It also has a cutscene with lore stuff as build up to chapter 0, but at this point, I'm already glad to be able to participate in this ARG hunt. We'll get to touch more on Vivid Season stuff on the next segment of the program. And with that, we're finally done with our main stories of the episode. But don't go anywhere. We're still here to catch you guys up with news and updates throughout the raiding game scene over the past couple of weeks, all in our lovely summary package hosted by the CornerCap's co-host Aristocrates. So get your dance shoes on, stand by on countdown, and let's step into the event cycle.
Thanks again for having me on, Michiko, and much love to the comments section on the great reception to my last appearance. We at the Corner Cab are here for you. So, soon after our previous Rhythm Game Roundup episode, Konami announced some relaxation changes to Babylon's Galaxy. On November 30th, there were 4 changes made. Galaxy Stage will have the normal gauge usable instead of only flare gauge. Players won't need to play all 3 challenge charts in the Galaxy Stage in order to access Encore Extra Stage, and the Babylon wand will be full no matter what during a 3-play unlock session, and you only need 1 if the wand has been filled previously. The Encore Extra Stage song Ho has its expert chart unlockable, and finally, the Encore Extra Stage flare gauge is no longer the EX gauge, it's nerfed to the flare gauge 9. And one more update, as of December 12th, another nerf was implemented. The Encore Extra Stage flare stage has been decreased to flare gauge 7. With those changes in mind, the first player to clear Ho's challenge singleplay chart was Harujun with a score of 985k with flare gauge on 9 back in December 2nd, and the challenge doubleplay chart's highest score of 979k is currently held by none other than Fefems from his livestream back on December 8th. While technically Fefems' run was a failed one, and there's no updates of a challenge doubleplay clears at the writing of this episode, it's still a major accomplishment in our books, and it's one I'm happy to share with you all. While it's still fresh in your mind, I want to bring up Vivid Stasis and their update to instantly give out the requirements to play Astellion on December 12th instead of needing to insert those pesky ARG files manually. It also comes with some bug fixes to the 3.1v.c1 and Orphan, slightly modifying visual mods, and fixing a blue screen bug during a specific point in Astellion, as experienced by Michi whilst documenting his clear attempts, and adding something to the Boundary Shatter, a new level called TVO, aka the Vivid Stasis Operation. Although it's currently bugged as of the writing of this script. This level will be very important to the lore later on in the game, or so I'm told. And as for that TR1T5.zip image from the ARG, it was soon revealed to be the song art of Marinol by Leaf, to be in the Chapter 0 update on December 30th as an extra stage song. But before we get too ahead of ourselves with more game updates, let's do a brief recap of the past KAC 2023. One of the more obvious caveats we've seen after the broadcast of the KAC was the disappearance of Sound Voltex, Pop and Music Unilab, UB Dav, and the Chase Joker's livestream VOD. Even as of now, there's no official explanation regarding the weird anomaly, but all 4 games have been re-uploaded to the Konami official YouTube channel as separate VODs. This kinda sucks because that means we don't get to see the live chat, but honestly, least of our worries. Let's start by covering Sound Voltex first. I gotta shove this in somewhere, but during the quarterfinals, on a match between Misobi and Lyvern, the song picking started with Misobi choosing Tenkaichi Ultimate Boss Rush Melody, a maximum 19. When it was Lyvern's time to pick, they picked Sudden Death, a maximum 20, to the dreaded reaction of Misobi and an uproar from the crowd. Lyvern ended up losing to Misobi by 48k though. Gotta respect the hustle though. Anyway, time to talk about KAC 2023 song contest winner, Akasha by Blackie, featuring Risa Yuzuki. With a BPM of 180, it's actually the lowest BPM count of any KAC Sound Voltex boss song. The song features a brand new character known as, and forgive me here, I think it's Ortlind Noblige Valkyria, with a main level gimmick of her turning the background, playfield, and notes into inverted colors, even herself. The Sound Voltex segment ended with Kanako winning with a 7,000 score lead against Kengo. Moving on to DDR. The women's division grand finals included Ando-chan, Rabbit, Po, and Miskanpu, with the category winner being Po. And the free divisions grand finalists were Hibiki, Nakason, Osma, and Nayu, and the category winner was Hibiki. It feels like, especially for that free division one, there was a bit of a gentleman's agreement to not kill each other with the song and chart picks, and the difficulties that were played were around 16s and 17s, instead of the most intense picks like challenge charts of Over the Period, or Lacrima, or Endymion from the previous year. It's good enough to satisfy the crowd and was still within the difficulty range set by tournament organizers, so that was good. Another good thing that came out of this was the showmanship displayed from the winner's speech brought by Hibiki. He expressed he wants to compete with international players as well as challenge his skill and more, which in my opinion is throwing some much needed shade at Konami over the North American DDR players' earlier disqualification. We sadly don't have enough time to deeply dive into every BEMANI KAC game winners like Sound Voltex and DDR, but let's do a quick fire round of the rest. Dance for Stardom had removed the paired category this year, leaving only one winner, Nishi, as their first KAC win since the 8th KAC back in 2018. BEMANI 2DX had the 4-way finals with Mikamo, Utaka, KKM, and Cheppy, with the winner being KKM. Gitadora Drum Mania finals were between Asama and Maito Seishun, where the final song Crescent Letter was played. Maito's drumstick flew from his hands, and the refs decided to literally redo Crescent Letter, although that might have hampered Maito even more because Asama won with a huge margin from the replay. Whilst Guitar Freaks had the finals between Mr. Q and Negitoro, with Mr. Q getting first place. Finally, we had Pop and Music with the male category finals between Tatsu and Dainaso and Emu. There's really no surprise here, Tatsu wins with a moderate lead of a 4k score ahead of Dainaso. And the women's category consisted of Ame, Hasanini, and Tenkai, with Hasanini winning with a slight above lead around 1k score over Ame.
Sorry to interrupt, but we forgot to include Jubit Avenue during Eric's section. Also, Nanoflower got to commentate on this year's Jubi Championship after appearing on the previous 10th KAC as a commentator. Very nice. Its grand finals after over an hour of semifinals happened between Sela and Integral, with Integral achieving their first KAC champion position after getting the runner-up last year.
Unfortunately, with all that great news comes along some bad news. Folks, it's time to mourn the loss of yet another arcade rhythm game. I'm personally saluting the eventual closure of Andamiro's Chronos Circle. I'm gonna go off script slightly. I cared a lot about Chronos Circle from a game design perspective. Any DDR old heads will know Naoki. He literally was the first head of all DDR. He was involved with Chronos Circle. I wanted to see my man succeed. I felt like Chronos Circle had a little bit of everything, a little bit of MaiMai, a little bit of Waka, a little bit of DJ Max Technica, if anybody even remembers that. So for me, I was very excited to see Andamiro, go on from its original just having Pump It Up, and kind of sad to see that experimentation, even if it wasn't the most popular thing, but that experimentation of Chrono Circle, unfortunately, is coming to its end. On December 7th, a notice was released detailing the plan for its continuation of the game. The plan is to keep Chrono Circle servers online from now until 31st of January 2025, so players can still enjoy the game while it has its catalog, the originals, the collaborations, and special unlocks. When the servers do go offline, the game will be playable with everything unlocked, but of course licensed songs will get removed. Alongside this notice, the game's final update was released as version 1.420, nice. The update brings in 2 Pump It Up songs, Growth by Nato and Jupin by Sobram. Oh, I love Sobram so much. Alongside it, the final Chrono Pass Season 11 will be released, and it's going to last until December 31st. The previous Season 7 to Season 9 Chrono Pass skins and avatars are going to be purchasable in the lounge using points and friendship, and the lounge, it's their in-game shop, is getting major discounts. I'm talking, guess the note skin unlocks. Guess the percentage. You guess 50. Now guess the song price discount. Even better. Not 60, not 80, 99% off. That's wild. There's even points that you might have needed to spend on some items are actually just going to be for free now. Some items are just completely removed from needing points. And for the things that still do need points in friendship, the time points given after each player is increased. It's crazy. It's they're doing so much on their way out, and it's so sad that this game didn't make it. Honestly, personally, even in South Korea, it wasn't going to make it. How was little old me ever going to get a chance? But again, their rhythm game efforts are now pouring into Pump It Up, and we're seeing Phoenix do great, and it's even getting distributed into Japanese arcades now. So, we're going to see some benefits to this. There's always downsides. There's always silver linings. Sad boy hours are over. We got to move it on. We got to keep it pushing. Now, we were talking about arcade rhythm games for a bit. Let's move on to the mobile rhythm games, starting off with Rizline's collaboration with the legendary label Diverse System. Now, the first song from the collab, Bring Me Back by Zek, was released back in November 24th, and we've since received the rest. On December 1st, Hullbreaker by Malzahn was added, and the third and final song, Debirth by Sakujo with Violin by Katali, was added. Now, if you don't know, it's essentially a peaceful sequel to Destroyer, and rightfully has the highest IN difficulty of all the Diverse System collab songs, an insane 14. Next up, we're moving on to Michiko's personal favorite right now, Kalpa. And honestly, pretty good favorite. Y'all are sleeping on Kalpa. Michi's got great taste. Now, the game had gone through quite a content drought ever since the Roteno collab, with the addition of Taijet, the first canonical character song pack outside of the game's 13 Zodiac Base Guardians. Presumably, this was because the direction of the game's previous publishing company, Crest Company KR. It also didn't help that Kalpa's official Twitter account had been abandoned a few months back, but now, Caseta Games, as the game's development team, has its publishing rights given back to them, and the game is kicking in a high gear as best as it could. Some of the benefits coming out are how the friends list, which was added into the game back in September 20th, now has got a new purpose. It's supporting co-op multiplayer. Although with caveats, multiplayer can only have 2 players, and the inviting player gets to choose the songs with no owner transferring features, and it is an 10 energy specifically per play. But if you're an introvert or you can't find anyone to play with, you can try out the newly revamped Lana's album list. Essentially, it's a collection of challenges arranged in song playlists. You can get energy, dark matter, or star fragments as rewards from completing certain tasks. It's got a general album filled with miscellaneous catalogs like albums for beginners specifically, or advanced or extreme trainings, even gimmicksy stuff like extra stairs albums, and challenge albums where Lana's trials get harder and harder until you get to verse against Lana as the finale. Not to mention, everything we explained about Lana's album list can be played as thumb play mode and multi-finger mode. If y'all don't know, Kalpa's pretty good on that. They literally have charting, for all our thumb-friendly people out there and everybody else on multi-finger too. So you can roughly grind through the entire album list, get enough star fragment rewards, buy yourself a literal pack. I'm telling you guys, Kalpa's pretty legit. On December 8th, Kalpa just casually dropped a collaboration announcement with Musink, and the Musink's Twitter account dropping the date on December 23rd. There's no other announcement after the writing of this script, but hopefully that 23rd update is the release date and it's not like a trailer teaser to the trailer. Now, Orzmic, after 9 months since its last main story update, enough for a human child, they announced their Chapter 8 update, but in different parts, represented as a 2-sided chess piece. On December 8th, the game announced its white-sided Devil's Chessboard song lineup, including Qualia by Ryoyo, Tactics Exhaustive by Shadowbling, Amal's Wolf by Iris, Quasi-Symphonic Poem, The Young Queen of White by RN, and A Sudden Change of Mind by Pika. A teaser for the black-sided chessboard was released on December 1st, but the official song list reveal has yet to happen. We can only speculate it's going to be released on Friday, December 15th, with the full Chapter 8 update releasing on December 22nd. Speaking of more great games y'all might be sleeping on, Paradigm Reboot's Chapter 3 Soul Mourner update has been released as of December 8th, celebrating their first anniversary. On the previous Rhythm Game Roundup episodes, we hadn't gotten the full song list for Chapter 3 yet, but now we've got them. So, Soul Mourner consists of Shijima ni Ureu, or Grieve in Silence by Reku Mochizuki, featuring Seiyakate Sho Santaro. There's Incineration by Ra vs Sunset Ray, Blessed Breath by Metalis, The Grand F-Star by Ais, Echoes of the Forest by DJ Noriken, which came literally out of nowhere, like none of us were expecting it, and the chapter's final boss song, Cybernetic Vampire by Void Morning Finale. Clocking in at the highest difficulty, we talking a massive 16+, along the likes of Figuros' Rariel and Viela's Melancholy from the Metabolic Reaction side story pack. Furthermore, the game released 2 more songs, each are Paradigm Shift by Motomori Atsushi and a new original song, Reboot, by Mizoguchi Yuma, featuring Yuki Tsubame. Yep, they literally added 2 songs to resemble the game's title. Wouldn't be a Corner Cab episode without talking about Archaea, so let's mention that November 30th update. Now, we covered the Waka collab Chapter 2 with them adding the 3 Switch exclusive songs, and they also got Stratoliner and Overture, making Archaea owning all 3 Waka theme songs. Lewin get added as the first male partner without technicalities. If you don't know, Arias is agendered and Tenniel was technically sharing a slot, and we've gotten the last 2 Archaea Song Contest songs, Alone and Lorne by Ponchi featuring Hachi, and Wish Upon a Snow by Dice. Fingers crossed, we can get a winter-themed event throughout Christmas. Staying on November 30th news, the 2 biggest rhythm games in South Korea decided to do announcement live streams back-to-back. Yup, we talk about DJ Max Respect and Easy2 On. Extra special shout out to Wiki for doing a live translation stream of both events. The man's a trooper. So, DJ Max's not confusingly titled V Extension V Song Pack has a total of 20 songs, including bangers such as Rhapsody for the Vendetta by Ice, Glory Max to the Maximum by Tak, Saved by Riran, Peace Comes at a Price by Pure 100%, and things that threw people's expectations off, like Revenger by Sampling Masters Aya, and the comedic BGA and the Virgin Results screen theme song Carrot Carrot by Sobrum. Oh, you know I already gushed on Sobrum. Breaking your fingers with jazz every year since, oh, you know. Anyways, they're collaborating also with some fashion merch, like Heights Seoul. To open up a pop-up store, there's gonna be everything from dripped out clear and fail hoodies to literally clear socks. Like, they were quite adamant on stream. No cosplay is complete without them. Meanwhile, for Easy2 On, 10 more songs got added to the Endless Circulation DLC pack, packaged as a Chapter 2 update, including songs such as Wings on My Back by Tag, Instant Vampire Star Kit by Dr. Rev, Shove It, the Yussi remix, and Rendezvous Coast by Wigan. The update also brings in much needed features like an early late indicator, and as recently on December 8th, the new song Snow Dream Remaster by Tak was added. This update was also confirmed to be the last in the series of Endless Circulation, which had included major efforts in upscaling old arcade content to the new modern standards. On that note, the DLC will be increasing in price slightly from $24.99 to $29.99. I think that'll happen around the end of December. They didn't fully confirm that on the stream, so our apologies for not having the exact dates. But that price increase is pretty reasonable. It's 39 songs now. They also touched upon plans in the future, specifically the upcoming Hardcore Tanosi pack. Reception has been so strong they already want to do more than they currently have, but instead of delaying the pack, they decided to turn that collab into a series of updates similar to how Endless Circulation was handled. As for what not to expect in the future, there won't be any songs from originals from other rhythm games. They feel that would be wrong in their eyes. They said to expect key sounding. We have a 100% key sound guarantee, and also, for music selection, they really wanted a diverse selection across the label's history, showcasing older tracks, and stressed that intense hardcore sounding music does not always make for the same intensity in charting. So they want to prioritize good songs for their charting philosophy over just a listening experience. Doesn't get any better than collaborations that go 2 ways, so let's talk about Roteno and how on December 5th they finally released their side of the Figures collab, including songs such as Breakover by K4s, Fear of the Far East by the T12 Project, Distorted Fate by Sakuzo, Rariel by Team Grimoire, and the initially hidden but soon revealed Igalta by Seura. Now, apparently the unlock method is just as easy as getting 4 million across the song pack, and it'll promptly throw you into a chart equipping the brand new Figaro skin and hit sounds. If you like hit sounds, I don't. The community was dubbed the level 13 chart, one of the easiest, so I mean, if you take a quick look, you'll probably agree. Rotano is also running a challenge event. If you play 3 songs per day, get the points, badges, profiles, the Ilot and Geopula Pilot Navigator. The event exclusive song No One Yes Man by Myuk is there. Now it's completely free, you just have to grind until January 1st. And to cap off the episode, let's take a quick look at La Nota. On December 30th, Doki Doki by Loftier was released in the subscription chapter, and the next day, on December 1st, the time-limited rerun event Graffiti Street started, lasting until the 12th. Back in the subscription chapter though, on December 7th, the BMS classic On and On by Etia featuring Jenga was added, and lastly, on December 14th, we're scheduled to add Doom Factor by Kudo. Woo, thanks again for having me, y'all, but it's getting pretty late in my time zone. I gotta be handing it back to Michiko.
And with that, the episode comes to a close. With Christmas and New Year's coming, it's kind of unfortunate that this'll be the last Random Game Roundup episode of 2023. The reason for it is twofold. First, comes down to my IRL activities that would be greatly hindering my workflow going towards the holidays. But secondly, I'm pushing out the last couple of ChronoCap podcast episodes so that we can end off the year with a bang. I'm personally sorry if everyone was hoping this program could have a consistent schedule, and I promise to continually improve on the series moving forward into 2024. Technically, I'm still a one-man team with Eris hopping in for voiceover support, but hopefully I can divvy up more work to more members in the pre-production phase, in parallel actually, with the dream of consistently releasing episodes every 2 weeks. If any of y'all have thoughts about the updates covered in this episode, and potential suggestions and feedback about the Random Game Roundup program, please leave it down in the comments down below. And until then, I've been Michiko,
I've been Aristocrates,
and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.